Hello everyone, how you doing on this happy Wednesday morning? May God be to the glory. And I just wanted to share something with you. And the title of this presentation, this video is going to be, Could It Be a Cult? And the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, fair use allows limited use of copyrighted works without requiring permission from the copyright holder for a number of educational purposes. Commentary, criticism, research, and scholarship. Views or opinions expressed within the content are solely those of the authors and do not reflect the opinions and beliefs of the website or its affiliates. It is not to upset any one person or business. It is not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. So if you feel that this video or presentation is going to be offensive, then I ask that you do not continue the video. Let us get started. Definition of a cult. In modern English, a cult is a social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs, or by its common interest in a particular personality, object, or goal. A misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular person or thing. A system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. A relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or sinister. And usually a cult leader is usually very narcissist, and they tend to lie a lot. Narcissists lie. That's their game. They deliberately speak falsehoods just so they can get what they want, do what they want, and hear what they want. They lie because they don't want the truth getting out. They fear the truth and even believe their own lies. It's a truly sick thing to watch unfold. They will lie about anything to anyone. They will lie to make their lives seem more than it is, and they will lie so they can play the victim. They will lie to destroy the lives of their target. Let me read that last sentence again. They will lie to destroy the lives of their target. What does it mean to be in a cult? Well, a group of people with extreme dedication to a certain leader or set of beliefs that are often viewed as odd by others, or is an excessive and misplaced admiration for something, someone, or something, or is something that is popular among a certain segment of society. It is a group or movement held together by a shared commitment to a charismatic leader or ideology. It has a belief system that has the answers to all of life's questions and offers a special solution to be gained only by following the leader's rules. It requires a high level of commitment from at least some of the members. Does that sound familiar to anyone? And as you know, being in a cult, it's all about control. The, char- the characteristics of the cult leader, they use the techniques of mass media, propaganda, the big lie, spectacle, the arts, patriotism, and government organized demonstrations and rallies to create an idealized, heroic image of a leader. The people will have a great devotion to a person or idea. Persons united by devotion or allegiance to an artistic or intellectual movement or figure. They are focused on a particular personality, object, or goal. And there are some people that are focused on a particular personality, object, or goal. And most cults, especially the cult leader, expects the members to be subservient and bow down to them. There are 4 personality traits of cult leaders. True crime consuming, armchair psychologists and public personality. They behave in a way in order to cultivate and maintain a power imbalance. Well, number 1, again, they're narcissistic, highly self-absorbed, and they feel superiority, demand extreme loyalty. They do not allow criticism. Do not allow criticism. And they will get upset if you criticize them, although they've criticized others, and they will play the victim. They seek to control everything. They feel they are deserving to make demands. They're not willing to be responsible for anything that they have done, such as misdeeds, sin, lying on others, working with the government. But again, they seek to control everything and they feel deserving of the things they have done. They're very charismatic on their speaking, maybe even sometimes dressed, but not necessarily always dressed. and how they treat others, their treatment of others. They have some type of magnetic personality or charismatic trait that draws people to them like an aura of being special. And they will find people that respond well, that are present. It's like a charisma, a charisma by proxy. And they're unpredictable. They have this magnetic personality. They are very confident. They have this erratic, they act very erratic to maintain power and balance, and they act with total duplicity, total duplicity. And they might come in as a raging bull or a sweet seducer trying to seduce someone or others to join in. And they keep their members on edge with a desire for the members to please the leader. And then there's some type of turn on. Develop a clear motivating force behind their actions, such as status. They were looking for status in the beginning, but they realized they could also make money. So status, money, maybe even, this other three-letter word starts with an S, or all three. They're acting to serve their ego. They're very egotistic, and they will go to great lengths to satisfy their desires, far beyond the average person's limits. So they will do things that'll go far beyond, and they won't stop. And they'll keep on doing it, even when they're found guilty, even when they're no longer innocent, even when the receipts and truth are placed before them, they'll still go beyond the average person list. Most average people just stop while they're ahead, but not these type of people. And they'll just keep going. And they demand things that a decent human being wouldn't. So they demand things that a decent human being would not demand. And how does cults start? Well, the charismatic leader. They're the originator of the group. They are great manipulators. They are charming. They know how to read people. They come along and offer a message that is going to resonate with somebody. They offer a message that is going to resonate with somebody. And we even see that today with the R. Kelly situation. And they only need a few followers. They go out and recruit more, and they build up an aura around the leader. They can come off as a family person, charming, charismatic, and even some type of demonic, evil, or Satan type of spirit. They will use techniques, and here are some of the techniques that they will use: mass media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, email, text messages. Propaganda, use tactics and people to get their point across. And the big lie, telling lies to their followers or subscribers, the federal government, maybe even their family. Spectacle, they make a spectacle of themselves to get attention, loud tone of voice, bariatrics. The arts will use creative ideals to draw people in. And patriotism, they act like they're very patriotic, promote or act remorseful by going around apologizing. But they really don't mean the apology, but it's all a setup for mind control and mind manipulation. And they use government organized demonstrations. They'll use the government for self reasons, selfish gain, and to get themselves out of trouble. And they may even create rallies on their channels to create an idealized, heroic image of a leader. They even will have a celebration to honor someone for the misdeeds and sins. And they also use mass media. They could be emails, tweeting, Instagram, any type of social media to get their point across and to recruit other people and to tell big lies, to put out those lies about what their goal is. Then there's this transcendent belief system. Some of it could be religious and some are political. They state they can get to a better place. They have their own way of getting there: lying, deceptive, manipulative, self-gain, controlling, dictatorship. And in order to be part of the group, you must go through a transformational process, dictating to the person, and you can't be otherwise. And there's a system of influence. They usually tell a good story. Storytelling for communication and influence. there's peer pressure. And usually it's friends, families, or maybe coworkers or people that are in the same group with you or same part of their subscribers, and they hang out in chats and they communicate with one another. So you don't allow yourself to be open to any other explanations, even if the truth is placed before the person and there are receipts to prove otherwise. The person's mind is completely closed. The connections to the belief system keep you glued there, and the person feels this is their only hope. Then there's this system of control. The person thinks they're joining something that's going to give them purpose or meaning. The person begins to adopt a worldview or personal views that requires new behaviors and cutting off from the past. There are rules and regulations. You must act a certain way and interact with only certain people of the group. So if you go outside the group and participate in other chats, they're watching you and they'll tell you what you've done and they'll let you know that they saw you. They also try to take away your self-esteem. But there's multiple signs the person is in a cult. So you got to be cautious because they are cautioned, and it says authorized personnel only. So if you go over there and you try to challenge what they're saying, and you're more than a surface level thinker, they are opposed to critical thinking. They isolate members and penalize them for leaving. They will harass you. They will try to get in touch with you. They may harass your family and come looking for you. They emphasize special doctrines outside scripture. They'll use scripture, but then they'll emphasize certain things that really don't align with the biblical concepts. And they seek inappropriate loyalty to their leaders. They might even go as far as dishonoring the family unit. And even the leader may dishonor the person's family or family unit. And they will cross biblical boundaries of behavior. And there may even be a separation from the church. And there's multiple signs the person is in a cult. Continued. The leader is the ultimate authority. You cannot criticize the leader, even if it's true. Criticism of the leader is forbidden. And the leader will get upset and play the victim. They get angry when the truth be told. When there's evidence that the cult leader is lying, they'll get some of their people in position, the cult leader will, to come after other people and attack them and place bogus comments that don't make sense or just definitely is out of character, out of line on other people's comments and chats. They claim some supreme power and might call themselves certain names, such as a prophet, messiah, messenger, or enlightened teacher, a self-help guru. They convince members to forfeit their critical thinking ability in return for a sense of belonging, authority, or purpose. Doesn't matter what logic or evidence suggests, the leader is always right. Their misdeeds or sins are always justified. And if you notice, they're constantly justifying their sins and misdeeds. The actions of the group can be confusing, bizarre, or offensive. They thrive on conspiracy theories, catastrophic thinking, and persecution complexes. They'll try to persecute others. They'll attack others. And they'll go on this rampage and will not leave people alone when they decide that they want to shut someone up or shut them down because they have opposed their way of thinking. And those who reject the cult's message are unelect, prideful, evil, or stupid. They even have went as far as to call other women and men on YouTube stupid because people have challenged what they've done and or what they're still doing. They shame the members, guilting them of shortcomings, insufficient, making them feel insufficient, unworthy on their own, manipulation, even if against their own self-interest or better judgment. The cult leader, he or she feels they're above the law. Nothing's going to happen to me. I got over it. I got away with it by exploiting their followers economically or sexually without repercussion. And they will exploit their followers by constantly asking for money. And they will lie about what the money is for. And when confronted, they do not confess, but create justifications for their impropriety. They will perform mental gymnastics to justify or ignore the leader's behavior. They lie about the money and how it's used. The money that they're collecting, they lie about it and how much that they have collected and how it's used. And they also will lie about where the money went. They will pay their offerings, even if putting their family at risk. Some people have given so much money that they're in debt and they're behind on their own bills, and their families are suffering because they have done everything they can to try to appease the cult and the cult leader. And there's a checklist of characteristics. Free personality testing. Come in now. No obligation. That's how they get you. And then you show up. And everybody there is focused on the leader. Excessively zealous, unquestioning commitment. Preoccupied with bringing in new members. Preoccupied with making money. Questioning, doubt, dissent, or discouraged, or even punished. They give mind-numbing techniques. Dictates how members should act, think, and feel. The group is elitist, claiming a special, exalted status for itself, its leader, and members. They'll go around saying, oh, he's so smart. He got good business sense. But that is such a lie, and the truth is not in it. The polarized versus them mentality shows no accountability to authority. They just have lied to the authorities, no accountability for their actions, and they play the victim. The group teaches or implies that its exalted ends justify the means that would have been considered unethical before joining the group. Collecting money for bogus charities, or the leader who lies about the cause or reason for the collection of money. Members are subservient, induces guilt feelings, gives up personal goals and activities that were of interest before joining the group. These members have violated their moral principles, values, to be part of this group, to feel special, to feel a sense of belonging. And remember what I said in past videos, that Satan is looking for his next victim. He preys on the weak and the vulnerable. And this is what cults do and cult leaders. And members are expected to devote inordinate amounts of time to the group. So every time that the leader is on, they come on. And they may be busy with their families, but they're taking time away from their families to devote inordinate amounts of time, and required to socialize only with other group members. So again, if they go outside of the group and they're hanging out in other chats and they're in those chats and comments, in those chats, they're being watched from the bushes. They're being followed. So every now and then they'll show up in a chat under the disguised name to try to throw a distraction, put a distraction out there. But again, they're required to socialize only with other group members. And if you want to get out of a cult, more than likely, you have to be on the run. And you have to change your phone number and your email addresses. And you might even have to move, because they're going to come after you, because you are a threat once you leave that group. You are a threat once you leave that cult, because you may have information that you can expose to other people. maybe even the authorities. And so you are a threat if you leave the group. This is just 3 of the many cult leaders. There's Shoko Asahara, born Chizuo Matsumoto, March 2nd, 1955 to July 6, 1978. Execution by hanging. He was the founder and leader of the Japanese doomsday cult known as Shinrikyo. He was convicted of masterminding the deadly 1955 sarin gas attack on the Tokyo subway and was also involved in several other crimes. And then there's James Warren Jones, Jim Jones, known as Jim Jones, May 13th, 1931 to November 18th, 1978, an American cult leader, political activist, preacher, and faith healer who led the People's Temple, a new religious organization which existed between 1955 and 1978. And then there was Charles Manson, November 12th, 1934 to November 19th, 2017, was active in California in the late 1960s and 1970s. The Manson family. The group has 50 followers who lived an unconventional lifestyle, and they had habitual drug use, and it was a quasi commune that they lived in California. So